Minasan konnichiwa, this is Matt Okahara from the Matsumoto Castle Gun Corps, and today we're going to look at the worst 5 jobs in feudal Japan. However, in this upload we won't be looking at jobs carried out by the military, we'll be looking at jobs carried out by the general population. We will be saving the worst military jobs for another upload, so be sure to like and subscribe to Gun Samurai so that you don't miss out. At number 5 is the profession of Heo Ibikuni. Heo Ibikuni were employed to samurai households to attend to the ladies of the house. However, alongside their normal household duties, they are also expected to take the blame for any mishaps that happened in public. In order to do this, during social functions, they would stand or sit near to their lady, and should the unavoidable happen, they would take the blame. Of course, the other parties present would also likely have their own Heo Ibikuni. This wasn't a full-time job, however, and the responsibility for taking the blame was passed from maid to maid. Women employed to serve the samurai households had a very tough job. But many jobs in feudal Japan were a lot tougher, as we shall see. At number 4 is the role of executioner. During the feudal era, executions for samurai and the commoners were very different procedures. Execution of the samurai caste was a very formal affair. Owing to their lofty station in society, it was possible for the samurai to avoid execution altogether for many crimes. These crimes, however, could warrant a death sentence for someone from a lesser standing. Merchants, artisans, and peasants, who fell foul of the law, could likely meet their end at the blade of a keri, or lower-class executioner. Unlike the samurai who executed their own, these executioners were seen as part of the lowest class of society. Next is the role of the butcher. Although many people ate meat during the feudal era of Japan, working with deceased animals and handling blood was seen as a somewhat filthy job. This led to a subclass in society, meaning that butchers, leather workers, and even undertakers were included into this subclass. The Burakumin were possibly the lowest social caste in Japan. In fact, they were so low in their social castes that their status was seen as hereditary. They were seen as outcasts and often ostracized from society. Now let's take a look at the Yakuza. Often referred to as the Japanese mafia, the Yakuza actually have quite a rich history. And even though the feudal era has long since ended, the Yakuza still operate in many parts of modern Japan. Similar to the Burakumin, the Yakuza's origins start with the lower castes of feudal Japan. The takiya were merchants and peddlers of feudal Japan, and they often dealt in low value and sometimes questionable goods. The takiya would open temporary shops and stalls, and this was especially prevalent in high population areas or during ceremonies and festivals. However, in order to secure a stall, and in order to ensure that stall was free from interference, the takiya went on to form groups, unions and organizations, which today we call the Yakuza. Often these highly structured organizations went on to include gambling rackets as well, which of course meant short-term loans and the violent collection of outstanding debts. Known as the Bakuto, the takiya and gamblers formed what is known as the modern Yakuza. Finally, we'll look at the Yujo, or the women of pleasure. Geisha and their Maiko apprentices were not prostitutes. And the Oiran were regarded as rather more high-class courtesans. As was common in Japan, there was a hierarchy for this profession. And the Yujo were very much at the bottom of this hierarchy. Whereas the Oiran was seen as exclusive and expensive, the Yujo were expected to serve anyone who could pay. So that is Gun Samurai's top 5 of the worst non-military feudal jobs in Japan. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.